Wow. Wow. The scales of justice will swing towards you when you are on SR. That's right, Stephen Retention. The scales of justice. What am I talking about that? I'm talking not just legal matters. I'm not talking about laws or even contracts or agreements. Not just that. I'm talking about karma, luck, fortune. Everything is going to swing towards you when you are an SR. I mean, first off, being on SR shows someone with a high moral compass. What do I mean by that? It means being on SR, you are considerate of the things that you do. You are considerate of all the outcomes that might occur from the things that you do. So, for example, you might not just drive into a person walking across the road because they're slow, because your moral compass is saying, look, I shouldn't just hit this person on the road because they're slow. I should maybe just slow down and let them cross. Or, you know, maybe you might see someone offering you drugs and you say no to that. Your moral compass is telling you not to do that. That's what it's about, yeah? So, when you're on SR, you have a high moral compass and you are least likely to commit offenses and to commit bad actions towards people or even the environment. So, therefore, you're already going to be out of the way of criminal offenses or just bad things. And B, you're also going to be known as a good person. If you have a low moral compass and your reputation is bad, people are going to treat you differently. It's like a criminal. If a criminal keeps offending, they're going to get harder and harder sanctions every single time. So, when it comes to justice, karma, luck, fortune on SR, it's the energy that it gives you. You start to clean yourself up. Your words come out very direct. You don't beat around the bush. Without going into details, let's just say there was something that I had to deal with today, and the scales of justice swung towards me, and I was just completely free because I never did anything wrong. But sometimes people take, you know, a certain perspective or a certain frame of something, and they look at it as if it's bad. But you need to understand that that's the whole illusion of this matrix. It's the whole illusion of social media, actually. It's taking a frame, a single frame, a photo of something, and projecting an idea that might not necessarily be true. Like you've seen that photo of the people where they have a boot on their head, and it's giving an indication that someone is stomping down on their head. But when you look at the photo from outside of the frame, the boot is actually worn by the person and they're stomping on their own head. They just wanted to make it out as if it was someone else. So that is the whole idea of framing. Framing, that's the whole word. You frame someone of doing a crime. You put a bloody knife in their bedroom and smear all their fingerprints over it. That's what a framing incident is. And it's not always criminal and evil. It is evil. Framing is definitely a bad thing. But also, some people might have like non-malicious kind of intents. Like maybe they just want to be framed in a way that they look like they're something more than they're not. So, for example, someone might be renting a BMW and then paying for a photographer to take photos of them with their car so then they can put them on dating apps and look like a winner. When in fact, they're an absolute tool. So I think you get the idea of what framing is, and that's why you don't have to frame yourself as anything. You can explain your story, you can be who you are, and usually if you're on SR, if you're being a decent person, the scales of justice will always swing towards you. I'm telling you guys, this is one of those magical aspects of SR. Alright, let me talk to you about luck and fortune. That, I feel like, is when let's say you're a Kuma, okay? You're a Kuma patata. So here's the scales. When you're a Kuma and you're being a pervert and you're objectifying women, the scales of justice are against you. So here's you, and you know, you're weighing yourself down with negative energy. Okay, let's say you stop being a Kuma and you stop objectifying women. Then suddenly you become even. Okay, that's where you want to get to. That's actually the hardest part to get to in SR, is that balancing neutral, flat line. That's the flat line state, the flat line, yeah? But to get to the state of luck, fortune, joy, high vibration, magic, other things, godly experiences, spiritual insights, abundance, creative genius levels, what you need to do is you need to start transmuting that energy up into those higher echelon kind of feelings and emotions, and that could be through creativity. And I think creativity is the main method of doing it. So even reading books is a form of creativity, because you're using your imagination. If you're reading a story, you're using your imagination, your third eye, to visualize a movie in your head. That's why books are so amazing. And it doesn't even matter if they're fiction or non-fiction or like insightful document-like books, or, you know, maybe something that's like a bit more of a history book. Maybe it's just like a biology book, whatever. You are still using your imagination to visualize things. So when you're creating these visuals and these high vibration kind of, you know, sensory experiences for yourself, you're raising the scales towards you, and that is going to attract fortune, luck, and success into your life. You know, what do people do when they want to create something big for themselves? Like, let's say someone wants to transform their life. Let's say they want to lose weight, find a house, find, you know, like a new hobby, or, you know, whatever. What people do as a method of, you know, hardwiring this into their subconscious is they make vision boards. So a vision board is when you cut out photos and quotes and words and whatnot to implement an idea into your subconscious. So that's what a vision board is. And what you're doing is you're creating, this is who I will become. You're putting that in your subconscious. So when you're reading a book and you're visualizing how that book goes, you're creating something into your mind. You're creating a world. So look, and the way that it attracts luck and fortune is that when you have that thought and you project it, and it's a strong thought because you've basically crystallized it, it will attract a lot of abundance. The reason why is when you are on SR, your thoughts become so potent and powerful. Your thoughts are literally electricity, electromagnetic signals. That's why sometimes you get these thoughts and you're like, why did I even think that? Where did that come from? It's because we live in a field of electromagnetic energy. Like, everything is electricity around us. So when you have a thought and you keep thinking that thought, that thought grows in its magnetic pull. And the way that this mostly metaphysical reality works is that that thought will have such potency and such magnetism to it that it pulls like gravity everything towards it that will support that thought. And that pull and that gravity that is pulling those opportunities, those luck, that abundance, those moments of genius, joy, happiness, those things are a result of your thoughts. And when you are an SR, you can't help but have positive thoughts. So those electrical signals being pulled to that thought, that is what we call luck. That is what we call opportunities, fortunes, yeah? That is when the scales go from balanced to in your favor. So, understand on SR, the scales of justice will always tilt in your favor. Thank you very much. See you next time.